Hello, I'm Troy Parker, President of Innovative Labor and Cleaning, and now I'd like to talk to you about hiring and developing the talents that you have chosen. Sometimes it's easier to look at all the obstacles at the beginning and map out a plan for your whole program, not on a just employee by employee basis. Sit down with someone like myself who's a consultant that has been incarcerated and worked with a lot of incarcerated individuals, so you know all the problems. Sometimes studies and things put on by other people who haven't really dealt with returning citizens don't really know. Now that you've hired someone, you've gone through the whole process, background check is done, and you've decided, okay, you're hired, we offer you the position, the employee accepts. This is a key time to start the development right then. There's a few things when I consult companies, I suggest that they do to help the transition go smoother. Once you've hired these individuals and they've gone through the mentoring program, the buddy system, or whatever you want to call it, there are certain obstacles that returning citizens face. Many times they are economical. Things like transportation can be an issue, even just getting back and forth to work until they get their first check. Or it could be things like maybe if they need boots or some other type of equipment that you might normally reimburse them for. What I consult companies to do in this situation is this, and this is what we do. First of all, we have a financial literacy program that we have the employee go through, especially if they come and they ask for some type of help. But we let them know that, hey, if you need maybe bus fare or some type of transportational help, or help getting work boots, we provide those for them, and then we will take it out of their check once they get paid. The purpose of having them take the financial literacy class is to make them independent and to stand up on their own 2 feet. If you set up a program where a person can get a draw, we suggest only allow them to get a draw after they have at least worked a week, and only allow this program to go on maybe for 30 to 60 days. If you implement a program where they can just constantly get loans, you will find that basically you will become a bank, and they will constantly use that continuously to cover shortfall, and they will never learn to budget their money. Also, as far as transportation, if you can give them a bus card, that's what we do, because most of our employees are on the bus line and they just need to get here to where our office is. But say you're out and maybe a more rural area or somewhere where there's not public transportation, there's things like Lyft or Uber that you can open a business account. Then whatever the cost of the ride is, depending on how you feel and your administration, you could maybe cover half of the cost of the ride, and the other part the employee could pay, and you would take it out of his check. Now that's on a company by company basis, but these are ways I have suggested to companies and have found they work for companies, because many times they'll have the employee and the employee will start working, but then transportation is constantly a problem, and then they're late, and then after so many lates you have to get rid of them, but yet you've invested all this money. We had female employees who wanted to work and were great workers, but due to childcare issues, they were unable to be at the office at say 7 o'clock and be on the job on time, because they had to first take their children to daycare using public transportation, so it takes longer, and then they'd have to get back on the bus and get over to the job. So in these situations, we set it up so these individuals could start an hour later and then work an hour longer. In some of these instances, you might have to tailor certain things to fit some of their needs. Now, some of these, obstacles you might not be able to, depending on the business that you're in, change things around like that. We were able to do that. Other issues that could come up is like housing, or if they want to buy transportation. We try to look at it as, if they show an effort, then we will help them. Many times we might give them half of the down payment for an apartment. Then we will take that out later on over a period of maybe 6 months, so that they're able to still pay their bills, but also pay back the money. And we do this at no interest. Every company is different, I realize it. But when you're developing a program for hiring returning citizens, and even those who struggle with drug addiction, these are some of the obstacles that they face, because many times these people are starting off at zero. So they don't have the financial resources or, the connections that many of us do have. Also, let's talk about advancement. Many times, many returning citizens want to advance. Now, sometimes some are just happy to get a job and they'll just stay there forever. The key here is you're basically trying to harvest talent. And if someone has talent, you want it to be used in your company. But you have to let them know going in that there's opportunity for advancement. Sometimes they might need some training or to take certain classes. It might be worth your company's while to maybe invest in those classes, or see if there's a way that they could do them online there on the job site. We have found in the construction industry, since many of the older construction workers are retiring and leaving the industry, and new people into the industry are not coming in as rapidly, the construction industry and many others are kind of in a bind as far as labor. So many times the returning citizen population is a gold mine, but they need to be trained. So setting up apprenticeships and other training to help you have the workforce you need can be a good idea. Next, many times returning citizens have certain, let's say, obstacles that they're struggling to overcome. Sometimes it's transportation. Sometimes it's visits with the probation officer, court appearances they have to get finished up before they're totally up and on their feet. And it could be even other issues. A good thing is to remember to have empathy, but not become sympathetic where you're basically trying to solve all their problems. At Innovata, we let people know we're willing to offer a hand up, but they're going to have to put in some work too. Many of my employees will tell you, well, you know what? He's tough, but he is here to help you. I'm more of the type of person is, you show me what you're going to do, and then we will start looking at ways that we can help you. You don't know how many times people have come up to me and said, man, if it wasn't for you, I don't know how I was going to make it out here. Nobody would hire me. And that is an asset and a benefit that many companies overlooked. When someone really feels that you gave them an opportunity when no one else would, you create a bond with that person that can last years. Some of my longest employees are returning citizens, and they have been with me over the 5 or 6 years we've been in business. And I know that I can count on these individuals. So don't look at these returning citizens that you might hire as charity. Look at them as investments. And as you pour into them, you will see they will pour back into your company. I hope this information has helped, along with the link below that I have included to the Sherm Foundation. The Sherm Foundation is a great resource for those who are looking to start including returning citizens to their workforce. Also, I suggest that you get consulting from someone who is experienced in working with returning citizens. Now, we have worked with hundreds of returning citizens over the years. Also, being a returning citizen, we have learned through the years the various little nuances of how to successfully help individuals returning to the community return in a successful manner. I hope this information has helped you. And always remember, To build a strong community, it starts one job at a time.